Hello everybody, welcome to Newegg TV. My name is Anthony and today we're taking a look at the in-win Dragon Rider case. Let's go ahead and get this open so we can see what's inside. As you can see, it's packaged pretty well. It has the closed cell foam and then of course it's wrapped in plastic. Let's see what else we have inside this box. Now it does appear that it's packed with goodies on the inside. So as soon as we get this plastic off, we'll be able to see what accessories they've given us, manuals if any. We'll go from there. All right, now that we have it out of the box, let's take a look at what we have on the outside of the case here. Now, this one is your 3.5 bay. You'll also notice that it can remove to be a 5.25 bay. That's because there's a cage right in here. So that way, pull that out. You can also use it for an optical drive, things like that. Going down, you've got three more 5.25 bays. It looks like you have a fourth one here, but that's actually a place to store drive rails. On the bottom here, it looks like you have another 5.25 bay, but that's actually a facade. Although, since there is a fan behind there, you could pull that out, put something like a fan controller, something like that. Now on this side, you have your 220 millimeter fan. If you'll notice, it's also got slots, so you can remove that 220 and put 620 millimeter fans in here. Turn it around to the other side. We have another 120 millimeter fan here. Now this actually sits off of the back of the CPU, so that way you can cool the CPU backplate. When we go inside, you'll notice there's a nice hole to allow ventilation for that. Taking it around to the top, we have your front panel connections, two eSATAs, one 6-pin FireWire, two USBs, two USB 3, your audio out and microphone in, of course your reset and your power button. Also on top, you'll notice it comes with 120 millimeter fan built in, but also has space for a second one. Going to the back, of course, we've got another 120 millimeter fan there. We have your water cooling grommets. You can also use them for your USB 3 loopback. We've got the I/O shield area and then the PCI Express expansion areas. You'll also notice here it's bottom mounted power supply, and if you look through there, you'll actually see a removable filter, but we'll get closer to that in a minute. Now at the bottom, you'll also notice these feet can rotate out for better stability, and then they also have the two rubber stoppers at the bottom for vibration reduction. Let's go ahead and take a look inside the machine, see what we find. Now, as you can see on the inside, here's that 220 millimeter fan, and then you also notice there's a switch coming off of it to the front, which turns the LEDs on the fan on and off. On the inside, we also have the noise dampening foam. Keep everything a little quieter for you because these fans do make a lot of noise. There's some accessories that are just inside the machine here. Like they do provide a full color manual. So that way it shows you where everything is, how it's supposed to be put together, how it's supposed to come apart. So that comes in handy. We don't see that a whole lot from manufacturers. Of course, we have your Molex to fan connectors, all of your mounting screws, and your cable ties and cable management accessories. And then something that's real hard to see in here, but let's get it around. We have the onboard speaker. And here we have our 4 and 8 pin ECS extenders. Those will come in handy. So if we start off at the front, of course you can see your bays. You can see the 3.5 cage up here in the 5.25 bay. So you can see that that is removable. And then of course your 3 5.25s. I don't know if we can get you a good look at the drive rail accessory holder here. So that way you don't end up losing those or having to keep those in a drawer or anything like that. So below that, you have a removable tray for a 2.5-inch drive. Just slides right back in there. And then of course your mounting area for all your hard drives. And you can also get a better view of that fan that's up front. Now coming along the top, of course you can see that 120mm fan and then the spot for the additional 120mm fan. And that brings us around to this fan here on back. So as you can see, this fan lines up directly with the CPU backplate. Keep everything nice and cool. Now, where the motherboard tray is, you'll notice that there's a significant amount of room behind there, but behind the tray and the side panel for easier cable management. And you can also send stuff up the bottom here due to the amount of space. On the back, once again, we have the 120mm fan, your I/O port area, and then of course the quick releases for the PCI slots. And then that brings us down to the area for the bottom mounted power supply. It's got the filter on here to keep everything clean. Now the filter is removable. Relatively easy compared to some other cases. It just clips back on there and you're good to go. Well guys, that's been our overview of the InWin Dragon Rider case. My name is Anthony. Thank you for watching Newegg TV. We'll see you next time.